Like we said yesterday, Padres won the trade. They beat the Nationals today. Now, they do lose Ryan Bergert, who has pitched very well for this team. He takes a liner off his forearm and the side of his body, maybe the ribs area. So we'll wait on that. And now we'll see if they can win a series by beating Mackenzie Gore on Wednesday. That will not be easy because Gore's been one of the better pitchers in the National League. And they also come back from 3-0 down today to win 4-3. So some encouraging signs, some discouraging signs, an injury to deal with. Robert Suarez will be serving his 2-game suspension. It's been dropped from 3 games to 2 games. We'll get into it all over the next hour. So make your way in and subscribe, all right? Year-round content for you in season and out of season. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell ST. We appreciate the super chats. We really do appreciate your support of our work in this channel. Padre Phillip, we see you. We'll get you. Thank you for the generous super chat, the first of the night, that we'll get to momentarily. And if you want to become a member, you get the emojis and the badges. You can click the join button down below. I guess it's better than the alternative, certainly, Jim. I mean, they trailed 3-0. They did rally. The way they scored the go-ahead run in this game that eventually was the winning run was interesting, with the bases loaded, nobody out. A fielder's choice, a ball that was hit to first, they didn't come home on with Gavin Sheets running. I think Sheets would have been out by probably 20 feet if they did come home. And bullpen was terrific. Padres win. We'll see if they can parlay it into a series win, which they basically got to get tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you said it really well there. Like, yeah, the Padres won the Juan Soto trade, clearly. James Wood is washed. I mean, he's already cooked. He's, started his career. CJ Abrams, scrub. Padres
see why they moved him.
Yeah, exactly. You see why they moved CJ Abrams and James Wood. Now, I mean, tonight they got on 3-0, or no, sorry, was it 3-0? Yeah, it was 3-0.
You're right.
Once again, the offense kind of like blah, right? Yep. And they found a way to get it done. They didn't put up 7, 8, 9 runs, but the most important thing is they scored at least one more run than the Washington Nationals. And at this point in the season, I don't think Padres are getting extra wins for how the game looks. Right? Like, oh, that was such a pretty game to watch. They hit 3 home runs and they were 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Like, it's ugly right now. It's not the prettiest brand of baseball with this Padres team, offensively, mostly. But
I agree.
If you can just find ways to get it done and win series at this moment in time, that's all you're asking for. And then you got to flip the switch and hope that your offense turns a corner. And hopefully the move, whenever that is, that AJ Preller makes, helps your team out and some guys get hot and you get back some people that are healthy. But right now, it's not pretty. This game was not a pretty game offensively for this team. But they got the job done, and the bullpen came in very early on because of the Ryan Bergert injury. And Schilt went for it by, bringing Adrian Morejon out of the bullpen. Last night he used all of the B team, right? And they got rocked. Tonight he had to use the A team, and they kept it at 3 and got the job done.
I think where they may have won this game was when the Nats scratched across that second run and took a 2-0 lead and had the bases loaded.
Oh, with one
and
out.
Then could do no more.
Right.
In that spot. I'm trying to find exactly where it was. Was that the second inning? When, because James Wood walked, that scores a run, right? They walk in a run, but there's only 1 out. So it's 2-0. There's 1 out. He goes strikeout, fly out to get out of that spot. Then that's would add a run, in the 4th inning. But then the Padres did finally respond there in the bottom of the 4th inning. I thought Jake Cronenworth probably the biggest hit of that inning, that 2-out double. They made it 3-2. Maldonado's hit 4 home runs. I mean, it was a big one tonight, if we're going to be honest. I mean, that tied the score. And then the way they win this game, I mean, the Nationals, this was silver platter stuff, but at least they scored a run. I mean, back-to-back walks in a tie game. And then the Padres, I don't think hit the ball to the infield, but they score the run on that ground ball to first where they shouldn't have. Again, I think if that's San Diego, and if the Padres lose this game in the same manner, I'd be like, what on earth is Luis Arraez doing? I'd be killing the Padres, whoever was playing first base, if they didn't come home. But thankfully, it's the Nationals. I mean, this team has been just awful in June. I think they're now 3-13 in their last 16 games. I mean, this team's going nowhere. They put up the bullpen ERA numbers For Washington, I'm surprised the Padres didn't do more against the Nationals bullpen. They're 30th in ERA, 29th in batting average against. I mean, it's just an awful bullpen. Padres did enough, and I'm with you on that. I mean, there's no beauty contest right now. We're 80 games in, essentially. It's not a beauty contest. They haven't played overly well for an extended period of time. This win does nothing for me if they lose tomorrow, and it does a lot for me if they win tomorrow. That's what I would say. It does nothing for me if they lose tomorrow. It does much more for me. They can back this up by beating Mackenzie Gore and winning this series.
Yeah, it's all about just tomorrow picking up the win.
Yeah,
because then they did their job. They accomplished what they needed to accomplish, which is winning homestand, 2 series wins, stack them up, and now you go on a pretty tough road trip. I would say,
Yep.
you lose tomorrow. One, you lose the series to the Nationals. 2, you have a 3-3 homestand, and not great.
Yep.
And Cincinnati, they're playing well. Philadelphia is the best team in the East, and I think they have one of the best records in all of base, or at least the National League. 47-32, and there are 26-14 at home. So, and Cincinnati's 22-17 at home. I believe they just beat the Yankees tonight. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games, and they just brought up their stud rookie pitcher, who was phenomenal tonight. And guess what? The Padres are going to face them on Sunday.
That's right.
So, tomorrow's game is a pretty important game when you look down the line here. You want to have the winning homestand. You want to have 2 consecutive series wins because, Schulte loves that. And I do too. You do too. Padres fans do as well. And, again, it's not pretty. Might not be pretty, but just get the job done. Pick up the win against a bad Nationals team.
And go beat a good pitcher, which has been done this year. I mean, Mackenzie Gore's lost a lot, and it's not his fault, but it's not like they're winning at some ridiculous clip with him on the mound. They just got to go out and beat him tomorrow, and I don't know if it's going to be easy or not. They just got to your point today, score 1 more run against the Nationals. Let's get to some of these supers, guys. If you're here, subscribe. And if you're here, thank you for your support of the channel, like Padre Phil. If you want to see your comment on screen, if you want to control the direction of the conversation, if you have a question, comment, click the $ below the chat box, like Padre Phil, who gets us started tonight. Thank you, man. I kind of like this super. He says, first, let me say I love Tatis. Number one, you took the $2 million and signed a contract, be a man and pay your debts. Number 2, get your shit together at the plate. Now, he had homered in 2 of 3 games. He did not have a good offensive night tonight. He did make a couple of good defensive plays in this game. I agree with you on the love for Tatis, but that doesn't exempt us from being critical of him. I'm 100% with you on the BLA thing. I don't like it either. I think it's a weird business practice to be signing guys and taking future earnings, but they're all grown men. I mean, they signed these contracts. Fernando's father played in the big leagues and earned a lot of money, so he should have known better. He signed the contract, so I agree with you on that. And Tatis, we had this conversation today, Jim. I mean, he's been effective this year, but he's been better previously, and I want to see the better version of Tatis, and I think a lot of Padres fans do.
Yeah, I think that as far as the lawsuit goes, I don't. It's not something that I'm going to devote my time in researching because it's kind of secondary to stuff that truly matters, which is on the field and this baseball team and wins and losses and his production. So that's what I'm going to focus my energy towards. But the lawsuit, it is what it is. Again, you can look at it both ways, that he's doing this to fight for future players that he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, like he felt he was. But again, he did sign this and he did agree to this deal. So it's like, whoever gave you that advice, you might want to look at that person first and be like, why'd you let me do that? Yeah. And then move forward. So again, you can look at it both ways. I'm not going to be too critical and stand on a soapbox like John Heyman did the other day. It is what it is. Both sides, you could make an argument or right about it.
He should be fine, even by owing $34 million. Now, listen, owing $34 million is $34 million I've ever owed to someone, but he's still owed $296.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll get $296, prior to taxes, plus anything he does off field, which is significant, even though he's lost a lot of national endorsements. So
That's true.
I understand. Listen, if I lost $34 million, Jim, in some bad contract, I'd want a portion of it back too. I get it.
You know who the only person who's the only person recently that I can remember losing potentially hundreds of millions of dollars and just like not caring about it?
Who?
His name rhymes with Ohei Fotani.
Yeah, he doesn't mind. Whatever.
It's fine. Who cares? He knew nothing about it. Anyway.
Good job. The algorithm will probably get 400 Dodger fans in here in the next 60 seconds.
You're an idiot, John or Jim. I can't believe you would say that.
The on-field thing, let's be honest. He's homered in 2 of the last 4 games. Yeah, he's 0 for 4 today, but he's had 6 RBIs and with those 2 home runs. So, I mean, he's had some impactful moments here. I know yesterday was in defeat in the 9th inning. It wasn't overly impactful. I'm not gonna vilify Tatis at the plate every time he's 0 for 4, and I'm not going to celebrate him every time he's 2 for 4. Fernando Tatis is too good of a player to be critiquing each and every at bat and saying great things one day and bad things the next. Like I just need to see it for the full second half. I'd like to see a better second half than first. His first half is fine. It's been good. I want to see more from Fernando Tatis Jr. in the second half. I think that's a fair ask. Doesn't guarantee it. It may or may not happen. I think he's capable of it, and let's see if it happens or not. Is my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, and he's playing great defense. He's on his way to another Gold Glove in right field. He should be an all-star this year. Should be an all-star. I don't know if he will be, but he should be. And yeah, you just hope that he stays healthy and continues to produce. And
his health, man. Yeah. If you told me he's healthy all the way through October, I'll take the bet. And whatever I'm rolling that dice. If hopefully comes up with a good number, but if he's healthy from now through October, I'll sign up for it. Pat, man, thank you for the super chat as well, guys. If you're here, subscribe, and thank you for your support of this channel. Click the $ below the chat box, like Padre Phil, like Patman0074, who says offense not too bad recently. Bullpen sketchy though. Well, not tonight. I mean,
bullpen was great tonight, guys.
Bullpen
was fantastic,
terrific. Now here's the funny thing about this offense, Jim. Since the switch, for whatever it's worth, the Merrill Arise switch, they haven't been highly efficient. The numbers would not bear it out. Now, they hit 3 home runs yesterday. They had 4 runs today on 7 hits. That's fine.
1 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, 1 for 7 risk. The game against Kansas City, they came back from 2-0 down to win. They'd won. Remember, they went 18 consecutive batters retired. They came back and won it. So they've had 2 come from behind wins in the last 3 games, thankfully. Otherwise, what the hell are we saying without these come from behind wins? But this offense has not been great. Has it been pathetic? Maybe not, but it's like what would you say? To me, it's like a bottom 10-ish feel to me, like bottom 10. Like I feel like this is the 20th best offense when I watch this team. That's how I feel about them. I like Sheets. We love Machado. Arise is fully capable. We saw it again tonight. But I mean, there's just seemingly a lot of holes and not a lot of rallies.
Doesn't it feel like a lot of times this team, say you're doing something, you turn the game on in like the, bottom of the 3rd inning, and you look at the lineup and everyone's over already.
Yeah, and they're like the inning is played out in like 4 minutes.
You're like, huh? What?
Yeah.
Now, to their credit, they did find a way to win tonight, and they have put up some runs on the board recently. But it does feel like there's too many times I watch this team and they're going down. I mean, it's like 11 retired in a row, 6 retired in a row. So And that happens. It happens in baseball. I'm not saying that teams can't do that, but when you already are a bottom tier offense in the sport, it just kind of makes everything more magnified. When you look at this team, you're like, here we go again. But I will say Jake Cronenworth, I think, is swinging the bat better of late. Like, home run off a lefty the other night. He had a big double, RBI double tonight. And if he continues to play that way and he continues to hit at the bottom of the lineup as a 7 hitter, that's exactly what they need, And Bogart's here, 0 for 3 again tonight. Would you say he's cooled off a little bit, John? Because I would. He's 1 for his last 9.
And by the way, we should mention, I'm glad you mentioned it. He went in head first slide to the plate when he was out.
Shoulder.
And I don't know if it was or not, because when I watched it on replay, it was arm to me. Is it elbow? Is it wrist? Is it shoulder? It's possible he was not asked, or at least the portion on television, he was not asked about Xander Bogaerts, who, remember, DH'd in this game, was not playing in the field. So we don't really know the full extent of what he was dealing with after that happened. That is absolutely something to circle, because this guy just put together a very effective week. You're right on the last couple of games, but let's be honest, this last week's been really good. He can't deal. Hopefully this isn't something he's going to be dealing with, because he was finally going a little bit here at the plate. That is absolutely something I'm thinking about tonight, just like I'm thinking about Ryan Bergert. I mean, Jim, what if Bergert does miss a turn or two and you add in the dynamics with King and Darvish? I mean, all these things add up. All these things add up.
They do. And once again, it's still like Xander Bogaerts' great stretch of games.
Yep.
Got to continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Got to continue to do it. It's you don't get this like giant reprieve. Everything's okay now. He does look better at the plate, I will say. He does look calmer, and he doesn't look like he's just in his head. But still, you're gonna have to prove it. Like, you just have to prove it. And 3, 4, 5 games in a row that are good isn't going to cut it for an entire season's worth.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
So,
yeah, I do. I mean, listen, the way the bullpen, if you think about tonight, like,
bullpen was fantastic.
Yeah, what are the odds? And I always say that, like, do you have a high likelihood of winning a game where your starting pitcher exits after 3+ innings, you're trailing by 3 runs at that time, and you're asking your bullpen to go 6 innings? I mean, I don't think you have a high likelihood. Now, I know they're playing a bad team, and they are. I mean, Washington is not a good team. But I mean, to win this game, I think we all were thinking the same thing, like in the 4th inning, like, oh my gosh, 2 runs, 3 runs, Burger off. Like, is it really going to have? Now they plenty of chances. Not like 3 runs is impossible to overcome, but you lose your starting pitcher, your bullpen's got to be perfect, and they win by 1 run. Credit to them. I mean, that's what they did against Kansas City a couple of days ago. It's like, when they need to, Jim, I mean, we've talked about this before. They've been damn good in 1-run games. They've overcome small deficits a good amount. It's not like they're routinely coming back from 4+ down. Who is, though? But they're coming back from 2 down. They're coming back from 3 down. So I don't know how to feel about them. Like, we're literally 80 games into the year. There's some things they do well. They win close games. Their bullpen can be good. They can overcome a 1 or 2 run deficit. They're dealing with pitching injuries. Their offense seems very meh to me. Trade deadline could be impactful one way or another a month from now. But honestly, I don't have do you have a good feel for what we're watching right now, day in and day out?
No, I don't. I don't, because
Neither do I.
They are not a team right now that I can go into any series saying, oh yeah, they're going to win that series. I just don't feel that way. I feel like they are vulnerable. I feel like any team can beat them on any day. And to win a series for this team has not been easy of late. Just hasn't. They've had to scratch and claw to win these series. But back to the burger thing real quick tonight.
Yeah.
So, I tweeted this out, like, after 2 innings, he's through 48 pitches.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's not good. And, he got out there in the 4th, right? He was out there in the 4th, or I forget what inning
he got hit to start the 4th.
Yeah, he was out there in the 4th, and he was at 68 pitches. Shildt,
that's a big number.
I'm just thinking, like, now again, don't want to see anybody get injured, but did Bergert leaving the game tonight actually help the Padres?
Interesting. In the one game, it's possible. That's a fair point.
Because maybe Shildt leaves him out there. Maybe, Shildt, maybe he gets another run there in the 4th, and they're down 4-0, and he's like, I can't use my main guys tonight if we're down 4-0, if we don't put up a couple runs on the board. Maybe he does go to other guys. He went to the A team tonight. He immediately went to Morahone, and then he went to Adam, Estrada, and Suarez. Like, A team tonight. He didn't use any other pitcher, Brian Hoeing or Morgan or Matsui or Peralta or like anybody else out of that bullpen, right? He went for it tonight, and it paid off. He's gone for it a couple times recently, and that's not paid off. But just thinking, maybe that injury, while it sucks for Ryan Bergert, and we'll see if he's going to make his next start. If he doesn't make his next start, then you're like, we need another starter. But maybe tonight it helped out the team actually that he had to leave that game. That's just my thinking. And Morejon came in and by the way, Morejon came in with some trouble and he got out of it. So
that's exactly right. And you're right. In a vacuum, maybe they just can't afford, I think, to have any starter have like a setback. Maybe he pitches in 5 days and all is well, or maybe it takes, another turn through the rotation that he has to be skipped in. And we'll see what that impact is in the Padres. But yeah, it is interesting how well the bullpen pitched, and does the game play out the same way if Bergert has to stay in the game for another couple of innings? We'll never really know the answer to that. It's a good point. Padre Phil, thank you again, man. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to this channel if you're here, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. Padres come back to beat the Nationals, and they do it 4-3 down at Petco. He says, here's our goal for the rest of the year. Just make it in without burning out the bullpen. We have the best bullpen in baseball, and bullpens win in October. I think they have the ability to have one of the better bullpens in the sport. I do think they can be hurt by being taxed the way they've been taxed. I mean, Jason Adam pitching in a 6th inning is like kind of unheard of, but I get it. The circumstances dictated it based on what happened with the starting pitcher here today. I would kind of change what he says here. He says the goal is to make it in without burning out the bullpen. I would just say the goal is to make it in. Yes, you want a healthy bullpen that's rested and capable of winning games for you in the postseason. But with what we're watching night in, night out since the 14-3 start, I would just say the goal is to get into the postseason. If someone told me right now they're in and there's no guarantee from there, I am 1,000% signing the dotted line, because there's also a decent scenario. Look at some of the sites. They would tell you there's a decent chance the Padres aren't going to be in the postseason this year.
Yeah, I feel like beggars can't be choosers with this team.
Right.
You can't. Last year's team turned into one of, if not the best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
Right. And then they decided to not score for 24 straight innings. Yeah. This team, I don't feel the same way about last year's team. I feel like they have too many holes. I feel like there's too many questions. They, to me, are missing that factor about them.
That profile.
Now, at this point last year, you might be like, Jim,
true.
The team sucked last year. At this point, not sucked, but they weren't great.
They weren't good.
And they created a team and a run where it was like, holy shit. But you also have to look at games leading up to where they were. They had a lot of games where they're like, how did they win that game? And their offense was much better. But it is true. Like, the team did turn it on, and they created this identity with, 70 games remaining, whatever it was. And they became one of the hottest, best teams in baseball. So I probably was saying the same thing last year about last year's team. Like, they're missing something. They're missing it. And they went out and proved it. But I still feel like this team is missing something. Clearly they have holes. Clearly they have injuries that they need to address and figure out. And so until proven otherwise, I'm sticking with, I think they're just missing something. And I absolutely agree. I would sign right now the dotted line. I don't care how they make it. I don't care what seed they are. I don't care if they're, 6th seed and whatever. Make the postseason. That's all that matters.
And to Padre Phil's other point about bullpens win in October, I do agree. I've seen teams win World Series with dominant bullpens, but the Padres did. We talk about having the best bullpen in the sport this year. The Padres had the best bullpen in the sport arguably last year, but the bullpen couldn't score because, the Padres offense didn't score in games 4 and 5. So yes, it is very helpful to have that bullpen, but of course you're going to need something out of your offense as well in those, biggest games of your year in October. Mm-hmm. No Mama, thank you for the super chat. Guys, again, if you're here, subscribe. And if you're here, thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says, what's your opinion on Waldron? I mean, in general, I thought he did a really nice job by and large for the Padres a year ago. In just doing the cursory glance of his numbers this year, he hasn't been overly effective. 7 starts between AA and AAA. Adding it up, it's probably around a 5 ERA. He did have one appearance Yeah, actually rookie, but yeah, he's got about a 5 ERA and 7 or 8 starts in Double-A and Triple-A. I mean, we may see Matt Waldron at some point, but yeah, I thought he served the job last year, and I don't know what role he's going to have, if any, this year.
I've always been of the belief it's hard for knuckleball pitchers to succeed at the big league level unless you're R.A. Dickey for one season, or Tim Wakefield, who probably the best knuckleball pitcher in the history of the sport.
And it's been a while now since, he dominated like that or pitched that effectively.
Because if you don't have it, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Waldron could fill in for a couple starts here and there, but he's not a long-term answer, is my point.
Yeah, I agree. There was a 10-start stretch. The guy was great or very good a year ago. There was. And he also had some starts that were awful. The wheels eventually fell off later in the year. I mean, here's the thing. Before you start thinking about Waldron, I mean, just kind of, I'd be more crossing my fingers for, Vasquez has been terrific by and large. Kolek has given this team good innings. Ryan Bergert has given this team good innings. We know he got hit on that line drive tonight. So I hope they don't necessarily need the depth in Double and Triple-A with their rotation. It is possible that they will, but these options have been pretty good, Jim. I mean, considering everything, Kolek, Burgerard, Vasquez have certainly lived up to expectations, if not exceeded them, I would say.
They have kept this team above water because it could have been it could have been way worse.
Yeah. Like what if one of those guys is just awful for like 4 straight starts? Just
like
awful.
Like a 6.5 ERA.
Yeah, it couldn't make it out of the 4th inning. Every single game you're down 4-1, 4-0. That happens in baseball. It hasn't happened really with the Padres though.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is correct. With the win tonight, the Padres are 4-1 in Ryan Bergert starts.
It's pretty damn good.
Take that to the bank and
multiply that.
Don't speak about it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. I mean, yeah, and we talked about it. We'll do this on the other side after we tell you about Mark Nimitz, but we need to have that King Darvish best case scenario conversation after the All-Star break because we kind of did that math today on John and Jim. So guys, if you're here, subscribe. And if you're here, thank you for the super chats. We'll get back to the conversation in a moment. We thank Mark Nimitz, our title sponsor, for his support, his longtime support, his 4-year support of this channel on YouTube. We can't do this without everyone here. We can't do this without the support of Mark either. So please click the link in the description down below. You can get free quotes online. You're looking at his website right now on screen. He does auto, home, renters, life, earthquake, condo, whatever you need insurance. I have homeowners, life, and earthquake insurance. He's got great service and communication. He's a lifelong Padres fan. He's a native San Diegan. If you ever need him, trust me, because I've done business with Mark for 4 years. He will be there for you. I had to file a claim a couple of years ago. He saved us literally like $10,000, probably more, truthfully. So Mark Nimitz, listen, if you have any insurance need, get in contact with Mark. Support this channel. He'll talk to you about the Padres and click the link in the description down below.
Yeah, all his information is on that ticker, mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
So we did the math on once the second half starts, the Padres will have 66 games remaining in the regular season because they've something like 17 left before the All-Star break right now. So there'll be 66 games. I think we all agree. I think me and Jim definitely agree, and I think our viewers probably agree as well. We won't see you, Darvish or Michael King, in the first half. I mean, maybe there's an outside chance of Darvish for a start, but let's just assume he doesn't. So now Darvish, King, if they were back to start the second half, it is an if, specifically with King. 66 games means they're only going to be making 12 or 13 starts each. 13 times 2 for the two is 26 appearances for those two, the remainder of the year. And we were like, can you go 17-9, 18-8? Is that what we're going to be asking of them to really kickstart this team and get them going like they got going a year ago? And how realistic is it that King and Darvish combined to make 26 starts once the second half, the quote unquote second half begins after the All-Star break?
When you put it that way, we talked about it today on John and Jim, it feels like there's no margin for error when you say that you might, at best case scenario, you get a total of 26, 27 combined starts from Darvish and King for the rest of the season. Like, that might sound like a lot, but in reality, it doesn't feel like a lot. 13 starts each, and they're not even close. I mean, Darvish is not close. I mean, King's not even remotely close. I mean, he might get only 10, maybe less.
Yeah,
Who knows? And every single one of these games come down the stretch is going to be so, so important. So yeah, I'll continue to say, I think that if they are within striking distance of a playoff spot, or they're holding a playoff spot by the start of September, they're in very good position. Very good. And it's like, here's the postseason on a silver platter. Yep. All of these shitty teams you're playing in September, go out and take it. And if they can't take it, then they don't deserve to make the postseason.
By the way, this is an excellent point from Jeremiah.
Oh, yes.
Chase Burns on a Tuesday means you're right in a turn, but if they don't play, which they don't Thursday, he actually wouldn't be scheduled to make his next start until Monday unless they did something that was pretty atypical in today's baseball.
And with a rookie, they're going to probably give him as much time as possible.
Give him the day. So interesting. They'll miss Burns, which maybe will be beneficial. We'll see for the Padres, but they are taking on a team that is hot right now in the NL Central. And of course, they're going to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's been good at home. Not perfect, but they've been good at home here in 2025. So yeah, I'm with you on the King Darvish thing. It's like, I think if someone told me right now the over-under was 25 starts combined from those two, I'd bet well under. I would say that's a free money under, and I'd hope to lose. I'd hope to be wrong on that, but it's probably more realistic 20 combined starts from those two, and even that might be optimistic because they could get back out there and then something might not be right, specifically with Darvish, man. I just don't have confidence in his ability to get back up each and every turn. With how his elbow bounces back, and he's talked about that, and he hasn't pitched in 3 months. I think King, maybe once he's healthy. Who knows? But I don't know, man. I think if someone told me 20 starts from those two and healthy into October, healthy, quote unquote, I would have to take that. So the point is, you're going at it for most of the year without you, Darvish, and Michael King. And who would have thought heading into the year that, I mean, King's made 10 starts, Jim. And if those two combine to make 20 more, you get 30 combined starts out of King and Darvish in a year. I mean, that's not ideal. And if you can get to the postseason doing that, kudos to them.
Well, again, keep your head above water, survive this, take advantage of what's in front of you. Bunch of home games up until the All-Star break. True. So then you're not, under this pressure that you have to come out in this 10-game road trip out of the break and play like they did last year where they went 8-2 to start the second half. Like, give yourself a little wiggle room here. So then when you do get these guys back, it's like, all right, foot fully on the gas pedal, let's go. And maybe these guys come back and they, the team just gets red hot, and then you get these guys at the perfect time and you're ready to go and you're going into a postseason playing really good baseball because your September schedule is shit and you have a healthy Michael King and a healthy Yu Darvish and Pivetta and Cease and the whatever move you've made. And, Manny's playing at an MVP level this year. And, if Tatis is healthy, like, you could talk yourself into that for sure. You absolutely could. Problem is, like, talking yourself into something and actually having it happen are two different things.
Yeah, no, completely. I see in the chat, by the way, there's a lot of conversation about the catching position for the Padres. Again, Maldonado today hits a home run, big part of their offense. Obviously, offensively, their catchers have not provided near the production that they got a year ago from Kyle Higashioka. They still, like we keep saying, head above water as a team. The pitching staff, by and large, has been good. Is that an area they look to upgrade, I guess, at the deadline? Like, there's people in the chat like, oh, what about Ethan Salas isn't even healthy, and there's no chance in hell under any scenario would he ever appear in the major leagues, even if he was healthy this year. I mean, are you calling around on catching if you're AJ? We always talk about left. We always talk about bench. We always talk about rotation. Are you calling around on catching?
I mean, you'd love to have a better, catcher with this team, but I think they're just like, fuck it. We don't even care. We're just going to stick with these guys no matter what. And we're going to try to upgrade other positions. But look, if our catching is just ass as far as offensively goes, like, whatever, who cares? Because we're not going out and getting Cal Raleigh,
No, they're not. Definitely not.
to go get a left fielder and a right-handed bat is more important to them probably than going out and finding a new catcher. They'll find a new catcher in the offseason. That will become a priority in the offseason. But like right now, it just, hey, we need a right-handed bat and we need more pitching and we need guys to get healthy. Well, the catchers have done fine for their standards. I think the catching position has been in a borderline embarrassment for, major league catcher nowadays, but it is what it is. Again, if these guys were defensive wizards, it would be different, but they're like not. And I every time that the Padres try to tell us that these guys defensively are amazing, I'm like, I have two eyes and I watch. Sometimes they can't even catch the fucking ball.
Right. Yeah, again, it would be on my list of potential upgrades, but I don't know where it would be overall in terms of like on the list. But it would be.
Don't you feel like don't you feel like that's going to be an offseason thing? Like it feels like they've moved past trying to. I've heard nothing about them going out and getting catcher.
Neither have I. And like what catchers are even going to be available to them that are, such night and day difference. I mean, the position is so defensive oriented at this point. There's so few Cal Raleighs. There's so few JT Realmutos. Like it's just, I don't know. It's hard to get offensive production out of that position, even like Kyle Higashioka.
Of course, with me saying that, they're going to go out and trade for a catcher.
Yeah, they very well could, but the question is, what type of catcher are they even looking at? Maybe it's just some backup. Who the hell knows? All right, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. Do want to remind our viewers about our friends over at SeatGeek. They've got a terrific offer for you going on right now. For our viewers, you're going to get $20 off your first order of $50 or more with the promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. You heard me right, our viewers. Use the promo code PADSWRAP. You're getting $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. Just click that link in the description to download the app. Description down below. Have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. We do want to thank our friends at SeatGeek for it. And let's talk about tomorrow. I mean, you're likely talking about a sunny afternoon downtown. And with it being a day game, you're getting in for $17. Okay? You heard me right. Again, if your order is $50 or more, so like these $31 tickets, I mean, listen, you can get sitting good seats for, look at this, section 118 for $32. So 32 times 2, this is with fees, is $64. Take $20 off with the promo code. You're at $44 with fees to get in for day baseball tomorrow. Padres, Nationals, Mackenzie Gore opposite San Diego. So great offer going on. Take advantage of it for tomorrow or any upcoming event in San Diego or elsewhere, including the Padres, and use that promo code.
Yeah, SeatGeek's MLB's official ticket marketplace. So your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. Just use our promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP, and get $20 off your first order at SeatGeek.
There was a, I don't even need to get into the Jim Bowden trade proposal because I think it's stupid, but there was a long article from Kylie McDaniel today at ESPN.com with the 50 trade targets across Major League Baseball. And I read through it. I didn't read everything, but I looked down below to see when the Padres were listed. And they're listed with high-end trade targets, mid-tier trade targets, and low-end trade targets. I mean, everywhere. It's littered. Whether you look at, the number 2 name on the list, Jarren Duran, or the number 3 name on the list, Sandy Alcantara, or the number 20 name on the list, Taylor Ward, or the number 50 name, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what it is, average reliever, right-handed bench piece, right-handed left fielder. I mean, they're listed, I don't even know how many times, 15 or 20 times among the 50 players that Kylie McDaniel ran through at ESPN.com. I don't know what it necessarily says other than the expectation is probably for AJ Preller to be AJ Preller. Now, there's so much time, Jim. There's just so much time. I mean, it's not even July, but I'm going to go under the working theory that he's going to be active. That's my working theory, that he's going to be active when we finally get there 5 weeks from now. They're going to be a very active team.
I think they'll be active too, but to what extent?
Yeah.
Will they be like front in line with the top names in the market, or will they go for like the secondary market and try to, buy low and hit another, dumpster dive type of move? But when you trade for somebody, you got to give up prospects. So again, that's not something that I think AJ Preller would particularly like to do. But again, it's all going to depend on how this team plays here the next couple of weeks, how aggressive AJ is going to get. Because we've seen AJ kind of pull the reins back in, even though the Scherzer thing, he completely went for it there. But then after he tried to save face, and I mean, he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. Like, hey, if we don't start playing better, if we don't start pitching, it doesn't matter what trade that we make. Kind of how I feel about this team. If this team's offense doesn't pick it up, if they don't start winning series, if they don't play better baseball, it doesn't matter what move they make. Pretty simple.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, I had a point I was going to make there, and I forget what it was. But it was something about the upcoming trade deadline.
Do you if they went out and got Luis Robert Jr., would you be okay with that?
I would, but hold on. I have it's on the tip of my tongue what I was thinking. Oh yeah. Okay, so keep that thought. Would they be okay? Would you be okay with them getting Luis Robert? My thought is, after all this Juan Soto trade talk over the last 24 hours, would Padres fans, and would you, Jim, also, would you be okay with Ethan Salas moving in a Jarren Duran type trade? Duran, Alcantara, I think it's more out of left field with his numbers, but he is controllable. And I would never say Salas and DeVries, like the Bowden thing that was pitched today. But let's just say Salas, hypothetically, because there are some good players like Jarren Duran, who's like a 9-WAR player last year. So he's going to command a real return. Let's just use Jarren Duran for a second. I don't even know what he's doing at this exact moment, but his year's been fine, I think. Would you dangle Ethan? So everyone tells me that James Wood, CJ Abrams, 10-time champ, Washington Nationals coming up. After all that, are people content with moving Ethan Salas for a player that could help the Padres for the next couple of years or not?
I think we can all agree that James Wood at the same time, or how old is James Wood?
He's still 22 right now, right? So he was 19.
My point is, like, James Wood's ceiling as a prospect was much higher than Ethan Salas.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Ethan Salas can't hit right now. He's also hurt. And he plays a position that takes a long time to develop. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with all that, again, it's a risk for sure, because it could turn into this guy's the best catcher in baseball in 5, 6, 7 years. But if he's the best catcher in baseball in 5, 6, 7 years, the Padres, their core right now, are all going to be done. Like Manny, Xander, who knows what their pitching looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The only two players that will be still in their prime will be Tatis, but he'll be in his 30s, and Jackson Merrill will be in his late 20s. But everyone else, I mean, Cronenworth, gone. Musgrove, gone. Darvish, gone. King, gone. Arise, gone. Suarez, gone. Jason Adam, gone. Like the team is going to look so different in 5 years, when I think that's when Ethan Salas could potentially hit. And maybe he proves everybody wrong. Maybe he comes up and he's a phenom right away.
Of course.
Yeah. But, again, it's the same conversation we had when Juan Soto, they traded for Juan Soto. Do you want to win now, or do you want to just wait for 5 years down the line and waste opportunities with the core you have now? Yeah,
me personally, like as someone that just covers them and does this for a living, I'd rather do it now and then have the conversation 3 years from now and be like, they're idiots. And we can have both conversations.
Like we just had last night.
Now go for it. And then 4 years from now, I'd be like, dude, Ethan Salas has 23 home runs. You know what I mean? It's June 20th and Ethan Salas has hit 23 home runs. I just pinned a poll at the top of the chat, and there's already like 50 votes in there, and 75% of the people in the chat right now are okay with moving Ethan Salas, who at one point was as big of a prospect as there was. But 75% of Padres fans are telling me right now, without even a specific name, I didn't even put Jarren Duran, 75% of people here right now are okay with moving Ethan Salas. But again, this is the same group that probably told me yesterday, how on earth could you move CJ Abrams or Mackenzie Gore or James Wood? So you can't always have it both. You can't get the Jarren Durans without giving up the Ethan Salases.
You have 100% proven our point.
The point.
you know, at the time in 2022, everybody was on board with Juan Soto. Prospects be damned. Because guess what? Everyone wanted to win right now. Padres wanted to win, fans wanted to win, everybody wanted to watch a winner, and they wanted to see them go for it. And they went for it. And it didn't work out because they did not win a World Series. They didn't even get to a World Series. So you can't have revisionist history if in the moment in 2022 you were all for it, and then now you're not. Like, no, you don't get that. You don't get that.
Yeah.
By the way,
listen, I'm all for the Salas thing. What's happening?
Hey, Ballpark Pretzel, what are you talking about?
I'm not seeing it, but I'm not following either.
What? What are you talking about? Are you trying to diss our station? Like, congratulations.
No, he's here every night. I don't think so.
Okay.
Let me get to the super that came in a few minutes ago. Appreciate you guys. Please subscribe if you're here, and thank you for the super chats. Your support of this channel. Click the $sign below the chat box. We've made this point every so often. You're right. I was talking about Higgy last year. He says Higgy isn't really doing anything or better either. He has one home run this year and a negative WAR. One home run this year and a negative
the best
WAR.
out of Higgy last season.
Crazy. Right. Yeah. I mean, this guy was rolling last June. He had like 9 home runs or 10 home runs in a month.
18 in the total for the year.
He was unbelievably impactful. It's just a general conversation about AM radio. Whatever. It's a good conversation, though, because I think it's one that we're going to be talking about for weeks. I think, mid-July on, it's going to be, they're linked to Duran. They're linked to Alcantara. They're linked to Taylor Ward. And they're linked to whomever else. There's so many other names. Freddie Peralta, whomever. So if they're linked to these players, are you okay with what they'll have to give up to get these players? Is the point, because we don't know, man. Cash Mayfield might be great if they trade him away. Name the prospect, but what does that mean? You're just going to hold on to all your prospects because you're thinking about 2027 and 2028. You got to find the balance is the point. If you're AJ Preller, you're probably not mortgaging everything like you did in 2022, but you got to mortgage something if you're going to play for 2025.
Look at it this way. AJ Preller called. Now, how serious was he and how serious was the conversation? AJ Preller called about Rafi Devers.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
So, you know,
who was owed 280 or what was the number? I don't even know the number. $300 million.
Yeah. So he's going to try a lot of different things.
There's an interesting thought from Luke who says Preller could probably get more for Salas because every Soto prospect hit. Duran and a 4th starter or I guess, leverage reliever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just because James Wood is really talented, does that mean that you're giving the benefit of the doubt to Ethan Salas? Like, are they tied? I get the point. Like you're saying, they scouted and developed who all the Padres did with that group of players. Yeah, they did. But I don't know if you're going to get more because James Wood's really good from a trade 3 years ago.
It's all about how the team views Ethan Salas and how he's viewed in the baseball realm. And does a team want an 18-year-old catcher who particularly can't hit right now and is injured and kind of feels like he's a far ways away, even though I know the Padres want so badly to bring him up as soon as possible to show off their shiny toy that they went out and paid a bunch of money for in the international market.
Right.
But you can't do that to the kid. You got to give him a good runway, and you got to make sure that you put him in the best position to succeed. And the best position to succeed is probably not being at the big league level and catching every single day at 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, there's no world where that's going to happen for him, I don't think, at this point. You've heard me say this before, and I guess I would end the conversation on Salas with this. You can go from a top 5 prospect in the sport to not even a top 100 prospect pretty close to overnight. It doesn't take long. I mean, 1 year is truly nothing in life or sports, and you can drop like precipitously in 1 year. He had a very mid 2024. He's had a completely unproductive because of health 2025. Not that the ranking is the end all be all. I'm just making the point that, if people think that this remains one of the prize prospects in the sport, maybe he does for the time being, like in this narrow window, but we're going to get to April of next year and he'll no longer be that prized prospect that he was in, let's say, April of 2023 or April of 2024. Like life comes at you quick when you're a prospect, and like you take advantage of it. And your AJ Preller, it's like you go from he's on the no trade list to like you can't trade him, or like he doesn't have the same value that he had just 2 years earlier.
Yeah, I do think at the end of the day they're going to keep both Salas and DeVries.
I do too.
I think they strongly probably want to keep Cash Mayfield. I think they're going to try to have their cake and eat it too here. But it's AJ Preller, so who the hell knows?
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. I mean, anything is possible. Anything truly from June 24th, 25th until the trade deadline. Truly, I would say. And if he traded for Jarren Duran, would you be like, "Oh my gosh, my jaw dropped. I can't believe it. I never considered it." No, you'd never say that. Like, I mean, anything is possible. Now, would I be surprised if like Dylan Cease moved? Yeah, but in terms of adding pieces, anything is possible. Guys, support our partner Mova Globes. They've been with us for the last 2 seasons. Make sure to pick one of these up. All right, we're in the middle of the baseball season. They've got all 30 teams officially licensed, and you get 10% off with the promo code PWS10. That's PWS10. You're getting 10% off. They have the Padres, they have the Nats, they have any team you're looking for. All 30 of them officially licensed. San Diego company. This technology invented in North County, right here in San Diego. No cords, no wires, no batteries. They spin automatically with artificial or natural light. Great gift idea for the baseball fan in your life. Trust us. Great products as well. Click the link in the description down below and use that promo code PWS10.
Yeah, pick up a Mobile Globe today. If you're a Padres fan, this is a great collectible item for your game room, collection, desk, work desk, bookshelf, whatever. Pick up a Mobile Globe. Use our promo code PWS10. I do like this name. Oh, hold on. Padres suck. Hold on. Neil Coffey.
Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, you're done.
Just mute him.
I know. Yeah, fucking moron. I do like Cedric Mullins' name. I do like Adolis Garcia from Texas Rangers' name. Taylor Ward's always been kind of top of the list. But those are probably 3 outfield names that I like. I just don't know what it would cost to get them. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, the like cursory glance real quick. I mean, let me just pull up some of these names that maybe we will be talking about in the weeks ahead. Where the hell is this? It was at the top. Okay, the 50 trade candidates. Like just some names that they're quote not linked to, but again, Kylie McDaniel says it's possible, like Duran, Alcantara, Freddie Peralta. I think he might have he didn't put Eugenio Suarez. He put Seth Lugo and linked he put Zach Gallen, as a possibility. I'm just saying, like, there's so many names that the Padres could be in on. He didn't put San Diego under Mullins, for example. He did put the Padres with Robert. We need to get back to your question. Like, would we be? I mean, I think you have to be okay with Robert, knowing that it's not an only 2025 play. That's how I answer the Luis Robert. The reason I'm cool with it, like completely cool with it, is I'm not treating the 2025 trade deadline, if I'm AJ Preller, like, here I am. What do I need to do to win a World Series? That's too wishful for me right now. So I don't think that I'm a player away, whether it's Luis Robert or it is Sandy Alcantara or Jarren Duran. So I'm looking at Luis Robert like, this guy's controllable. He's having a down year. Maybe we catch lightning and he returns to form. And if he doesn't, we're going to bet on his 2026 and his 2027. So I'm playing for now and I'm playing for later with someone like Luis Robert. That's why I kind of like it. I don't think the Padres are a player away from being anywhere near a World Series favorite. Doesn't mean they can't win a World Series because it's postseason baseball and we don't know what happens. But I would go more unconventional route if I was Preller. I wouldn't be all in on the number 1 trade target. I'd be more all in on players with the upside that are controllable, that can help me now and help me in the future.
The one thing about Luis Robert that scares me is when you look at his career, that 2023 season, that sticks out, but it doesn't stick out in the way that you think it sticks out. It's not like he had a 38 home run season in 2023 and 36 doubles. It's the Oh, he had 38 home runs in 2023, and then his next highest home run total in a season was 14. So you're like, okay, who are you? And by the looks of it, he's closer to the 14 home runs and 50 RBI season than the 38 home run, 80 RBI season with a 857 OPS in 2023.
It's interesting. It's a
You
fair
take out
point.
that number there, and it's his career is completely different. He's viewed, I think, completely different. I think teams are saying to themselves probably like, we can get him back to that, looking at him to trade for right now. Like, oh, we can get him back to 38 home runs. And that's what the Padres would essentially be doing is like, they're talking, all right, can we get him back to that level? And so what you're trading for is not for a piece that can help you right now. You're trading for a project that you hope that you can fix. And
Yeah,
I
that's
kind
interesting.
of would rather have them trade for somebody that can help you now and in the future. Is like that's also controllable rather than a project, because what if that project doesn't work? Then you're fucked.
It's definitely a project. I mean, I wouldn't be willing to give up the farm, so to speak. I mean, he's certainly a project, and I think the White Sox probably want a lot for a player that has had a season like 2023. This is an interesting point from Jack Pritchard. Thank you, or Pritchett. Thank you, man, for the super chat. He says, do you think Diablo told Berger don't throw Wood a strike with the bases loaded in the second inning? Now, there was only one out.
Mm-hmm.
Does he command that much respect in that spot? He said, Schilt okay with giving up a run rather than Wood doing damage. Smart. I mean, the way it works out, it worked out. I think you absolutely live with a run, considering that James Wood is at the plate. And yeah, you're thinking about multiple runs in that spot. With one out, are you working around? Why wouldn't, well, you can't put him on with the bases loaded up. You can't just do the intentional walk, but
Yes, you can.
it's not Barry Bonds.
No.
But what do you think there? I mean, was that the plan? Don't pitch to James Wood and see if we can get out of this at one run with one out in the inning?
If it was the plan, it worked out for them perfectly.
Sure did. Sure did.
It's basically, all right, do you want to face James Wood, who is a premier power hitter in baseball already at 22 years old, or do you want to face
Whoever that was.
Luis
Some
Garcia
rando.
Jr.?
Luis Garcia Jr.
Exactly. So great point, Jack. I do think there was hey, try to maybe steal a strike, but
Maybe.
don't.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you can, if you don't feel good, don't throw him anything to hit and worry about the next guy. And it's like we'll lose a battle to win a war. And that's kind of maybe what they did there. So,
yeah, I like that take. I mean,
like
it's
that,
interesting.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, dude, if James Wood in that spot with the bases loaded in the second inning hits like a grand slam, can you imagine social media in that exact moment? In that exact moment.
Oh, I know. So Padres social, Padres Twitter, Padres.
Yeah. Now it didn't happen. Again, we'll see what happens tomorrow because this series is far from over at this point. Guys, we do want to remind you about our partner over at Underdog Fantasy. Great offer going on for you guys right now. Use the promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. You're getting a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 and a free, you heard me right, a free gimme pick. You can play pick'ems across sports, which means you could play Nick Pivetta. You could combine it with like a WNBA game, for example. But this is how simple and easy it is. I mean, just higher or lower or loser. Nick Pivetta, higher than 5.5 strikeouts tomorrow. Fernando Tatis Jr., homers. Yes, I know I need players from two different teams. James Wood, homers, because why not? And CJ Abrams, homers. Let's just have everyone homer that was in the trade. And Mackenzie Gore, well, we'll go higher than 2.5 earned runs allowed. That would benefit the Padres. If all that happens, then you're going to be rich. Locked picks must be resolved before submitting entry.
Oh,
okay. Well, there we go. But $10, look at that. Abrams, homers. Wood, homers. Toddy, homers. Pivetta, more than 5.5 strikeouts. $10 pays $1,400. By the way, if only 3 of those things happen, you could still win up to $842. So couldn't be simpler or easier. Like I always say, Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Just use that promo code PADSWRAP by clicking the link in the description down below. Get the free gimme pick and the 50% deposit match.
Yeah, and the QR code is right above my head. Scan it. Download the Underdog Fantasy app and use our promo code when signing up. PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
All right, let's do this again tomorrow. No wrap-up show tomorrow night. The wrap-up show is John and Jim. The second the game ends, find us on YouTube, find us on the iHeartRadio app, find us on 760, if AM radio still exists tomorrow. So that's where we'll be. Padres Nats is at 1. So the game, let's say, ends in 3:45. Let's just hypothetically say. We have you covered until 6 p.m. We'll hear from Mike Shillett and react in real time to the Padres Nationals series finale. Mackenzie Gore opposite Nick Pivetta. Then we look ahead to Friday, when the Padres are going to be in Cincinnati. So make sure to find us tomorrow. John and Jim will be with you the moment that Padres game ends. Of course, we're actually with you before then, beginning at 2 p.m. But once the game ends, join us on John and Jim. And then our next wrap-up show will be Friday night following Reds-Padres Game 1 from the Great American Ballpark. Ballpark Pretzel. Wait, now I'm going to get involved. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I think you're a fan of the channel. But what are you doing?
Like form a complete sentence why you're saying these things. Please.
We don't need another HBV situation right now.
Like, I want to know before we go. Like, what's up? Did you buy a new car? Doesn't have AM radio in it? Is that why you're talking like this?
By the way, they do. I mean, I have my Tesla has, what does it have? It has like the iHeart app.
Yeah,
it has no iHeart radio. We're on HD2. It's on FM. It's literally the logo's on there.
Yeah, guys, it's like 2025. There's like a million ways to listen to a radio station. New
production cars are not going to have AM radio anymore, but they actually do. It's like literally like in Congress. Are you staying on 1015 channel 2?
Wait. What are you talking about? AM's going to stay in.
Dude, what are you talking about?
I don't.
It's like now a whole radio conversation. AM radio is like FM radio, but it's on the AM dial.
Yes.
And it still exists. Even tomorrow. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Subscribe to this channel. Smash the like button. Follow us on X. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay, and support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, Humboldt Casino, Mova Globe, SeatGeek, and Underdog Fantasy. All right. Yes, Jeff, call in from Cincinnati. Jeff West is going to be in Cincinnati. Yes, please call in, dude. What's our number?
Get some Skyline chili, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but you know what? You gotta experience it one time.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to enjoy the game if you do that before the game.
Yeah,
but when the
edibles in the bathroom more.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow on John and Jim. I missed the Padres AM baseball giveaway. All right, Ballpark Pretzel. We'll see you next time on the wrap-up show. Hopefully everything's all right. For Jim, I'm John. Padres win over the Nats. We'll see you tomorrow on the radio on AM radio Ballpark Pretzel
and the iHeartRadio app.
Yes, and on YouTube. Search for John and Jim 760. Yeah. Peace, guys.